সকলে কীর্তন করুন হাতের তালি দিয়ে। Sri Krishna Jananivas Prabhu Daya karo more Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya karo more Toma bina সংসারে পতিত পাবন হেতু তব মশাম পতিত প্রভু না পাইবে আর আহা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ প্রেমানন্দ সুখী কৃপা বালা কনকর আমি বড় দুঃখী दया कर सीता प्रति अद्वैत दशा तब कृपा बोले पाए चैतन्य निताय हाहाशर सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्ट जुग श्रीजीव प्रभु लोकनाथ दया कर श्री आचार्य प्रभु नरोत्तम दास जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु ने
राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन Sri Radha Krishna Bho Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Jamuna Tiro Banachari Jamuna Tiro Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamuna Tiro Banachari Yamuna Tiro Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, well, we are waiting for our speaker for today. So, devotees should try as much as possible. Please switch on your camera when the speakers arrive. Please, it's more personal when the speaker can see us while speaking. Thank you. Enjoy Srila Prabhupada's Jaya Radha Madhava while we wait.
Jai Sri Radha Krishna Bho Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Guru Dwarka Dham Ki Jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to His name. All glories to His name. Thank you very much. Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hare Krishna.
Who invited Prabhu to speak? I hope the person is connected with Prabhu, is communicating with Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Okay. So when you say material, find another person first. Share your idea with one more person. Change your person. Change the person, share one. They do it wrong or something like that. Procrastination.
They keep on postponing, okay, we will do it tomorrow, day after day. They keep on postponing. So that's the problem, to get the work done timely.
Yeah.
Keep on postponing things.
Does that happen a lot?
With me, at least.
Yeah. Does it happen with other people as well? People procrastinate stuff? Okay. So that's a common thing. Good.
Yeah, when we deal with a devotee for the particular seva, and that it's very urgent and important, but he don't have the sense of urgency, and he refuses at any time. At the end,
Okay.
Suddenly he refuses that I can't. So this makes me frustration. And
So even though something needs to be done real quick, but they're just kind of taking it easy.
no,
Yeah. Okay. Procrastinate. A little bit like that, right? It's almost. Yeah. Tribhuvannath, he used to say cozy yoga. Not bhakti yoga, cozy yoga. Okay. Anyone else? Who's left? Okay. Mataji? Yeah.
People stuck very heavily in their comfort zones and not willing to think out of the box.
Okay. So people are stuck in their comfort zone, not willing to
take risks.
take a risk. Can you give a small example?
For instance,
You don't have to mention any names or anything.
no,
but
no
just-
names, definitely no.
It's like a
if-
general example. Yeah.
If I want to talk about new ways of preaching
Yeah.
and, be a bit more adventurous,
Yeah.
either people are not responsive
Right.
or there is very high resistance.
Okay. Okay, good.
That's a
And are
challenge.
those ideas good? Were those ideas that you had good?
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. But that kind of no, we don't want to take it on board. It's something new. This is new AG or something like that, right? Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Who's not spoken yet? Someone who's not spoken yet. Maharaj.
Separatism.
Separatism.
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean by that specifically?
Devotees have different desire. The leader has different desire.
Okay. So you're both going in different directions like
Yes.
this. So one wants to go over here. No, we should go over here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's very frustrating as well. So they're unwilling to kind of like, follow your program or something. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. Who else is not said anything yet? Prabhu.
People are not self-motivated, and even if you motivate them, after some time, it wanes away.
Okay. So that's nice. So they're not self-motivated. So what do you end up doing?
We try to give them motivation as much as possible, but it keeps on.
You spend most of, I think you also mentioned the same thing, right? You spend all your time trying to get them to do it. It's probably
Yes,
quicker just to
yes.
do it yourself most of
Yes,
the times, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Infighting between devotees.
Sorry?
Infighting between devotees.
Infighting, yeah, that conflict. Yeah, conflict. Infighting.
Conflict.
Does that happen a lot sometimes where you are?
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere, okay, good. Yeah, internal conflict like fighting amongst... Already, okay, all right. Okay, who has not mentioned anything yet? Anyone not said anything? Yes?
Happens both with peers and with people who report
Adibo?
inadequate feedback or under communication. So
Okay.
all that is required is if somebody is not taking up a service, some reason hasn't been able to
Who
deliver.
is
at
Mayapu
least they have to
Jayada?
come back or communicate.
Her mic is
Suppose
off.
there
Is
is a
it
meeting,
Prabhu or somebody else?
person doesn't
Can you
turn
ask them?
just isn't informed. Okay. So maybe it's a part of disorganization or something which has come earlier, but it's specifically inadequate feedback.
Okay.
Mataji, no?
Awesome.
Want to
Can
speak
you
with
ask if it is Prabhu using Mayapu Jayada? Can you find out?
No. No, let me find out.
None of us have the skills.
Hare Krishna.
We do it.
Hare Krishna.
Lack of ability. Does anyone else have that problem as well?
Mayapu Jayada, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I don't think it's probably now. I don't think it's the one.
Okay.
Qualified, they want to do it, maybe the desire is there, but they're somehow or they're not able to do it.
You need an expert, and you're not it, neither are they.
Okay, right, yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Good, I think, yeah, Prabhuji, we'll take this as the last one and then we'll carry on. Okay.
Backbiting and non-cooperation.
Okay, so backbiting, and so people, that's two, isn't it, really, yeah? So talking behind each other's back, and then not cooperating with each other?
Like in meeting, I'm just talking with the peers. In meeting, we agree. But all right, if everybody agrees, so okay, I also agree. And outside they go and start backbiting. That
Okay.
I did not agree, they forced me to agree or something.
Right,
So
okay. Yeah. Does that happen to any other people here? Okay. So I want to know I have one question for you. How many of you are committed to really learn what I'm going to be sharing with you today? Raise your hands. Okay. That's what you tell me to my face. Now let's see what you say outside, right? We're going to find out later on, if that's true or not, right? So something like that, so to your face, it's like, yeah, we're really excited about this, but then outside, yeah, what the hell's going on there, Okay, good. All right, thank you. Please give them our board takers. So we've got quite a few bit of stuff here. So the good news for you is that a lot of the stuff that we've covered here today, all of your frustrations, like, in fact, if you put all these frustrations together, for example, people are unprofessional, there's a lot of quarrel and conflict within the team, let's say. People don't have the skills in order to get the job done. People are not motivated. People are not committed. So if you add all these frustrations together, what do you get? If you add all these frustrations together, basically all these, frustrations they have, what do you get at the end of the day over a period of time?
Okay, yeah, pretty much nothing, right? You probably...
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I saw...
Yeah, ask him to
Okay,
unmute.
Prabhu
His
now.
mic is still on. He's to unmute himself to be able to speak.
Let me press it.
Okay, it's okay now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
It's here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Hare Krishna, you're welcome, Prabhu. Hare Krishna African platform. We'll be anxiously waiting for you.
Don't, because of your anxiety.
We will wait till when you come. So you can start. The verse is already displayed on the screen.
Okay. Not Bhagavatam 1630. Om Agyananti Mirandasya Chananjanan Shalakaya Chakshuran Mritandin Tasmai Shri Pravina Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Katamayam Swaradira Parantikam Sandiham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Pitam Tam Sri Advaitam Savarupam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Bhagana Lalita Sri Vishakhapitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Apta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Shabano Shuti Devi Pranamami Pri Panchakalpatarupasha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Gitanam Bhavyo Vaishnavebon Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritanam Shivam Narotam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam So Jayamudit. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 6, text number 30. Sahasrajuga pariyante utairam shish utam srishak shakaha marichi misra harishaya anibhyo amnacha Translation and purport by Divine grace of Charanaravinda. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. After 4,300 million solar years, when Brahma awakes to create again by the will of the Lord, the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Victory, and so on, are all created from the transcendental body of the Lord. And I also appeared along with them. Srila Prabhupada. The duration of a day in the life of Brahma is 4,320 million solar years. It is the statement also in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So for this period, Brahmaji rests in Yoga Nidra within the body of Garbhodakai Vishnu, the generator of Brahma. Thus, after this sleeping period of Brahma, when there is again creation, by the will of the Lord through the agency of Brahma, the great rishis again appear from different parts of the transcendental body. And Narad also appears. This means that Narad appeared in the same transcendental body, just as a man awakes from sleep in the same body. Sri Narad is eternally free to move in all parts of the transcendental and material creations of the Almighty. He appears and disappears in his own transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, unlike conditioned beings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for your invitation. Can you hear me okay?
We are hearing you.
Okay. Where are you? Africa?
Yes, Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes.
How is the weather there?
It's very good, Prabhu. This Kavi Kanapura, that's your servant.
Not too cold? Not too cold for you?
No, not good. Not good. It's okay. It's normal.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your Bhagavad class. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu's.
Great Shivas also is in the class. Is Great Shivas Prabhu?
Shivash?
Yes, he's there.
Hare Shivash.
Kusha Prabhu is here also.
Hare Krishna, Jananivas Prabhu.
Hare my good luck.
My obeisances to you. I'm back in Ghana now.
I could see you yesterday, a few days ago also. My good luck.
Yes. Thank you. We're back in Ghana. With your blessings, we're in Ghana now.
Okay. Please give me your blessings that I can speak something.
You already have all the blessings from Srila Prabhupada. We need your blessings.
Okay. So, he's describing the creations of the Lord. This is a secondary creation of. And he's been describing how the Lord was sleeping for the past 430 million, 4,300 million years. And then Lord Brahma here again, he woke up to create the world according to the desire by the will of the Lord. He had his seva to recreate the world again. And they were looking over the lotus that Brahma was staying on, and it had just been through an annihilation. So, you know, that universe, it was a devastation. Yeah, you can imagine all that fire that burned throughout the universe, and all the rains come and washed everything away for millions of years. You can imagine how dirty it was. He looked over the lotus and he saw, you know, the charcoal and burnt wood and water, and everything was blackish, and he thought we'd have to have a Maha cleanup of the universe. So he's describing here how Narad, he has a transcendental body. And Prabhupada's given an example that just as a sleeping man awakens in the same body, so like that, Narad, when you go to sleep at night, you wake up, you got the same body. So during the partial creation here, the person awakens in sleep, the same body as he went to sleep in. So it didn't get destroyed, his body, whereas all the other bodies had to go into this devastation. Krishna says although they went through in the yoga nidra, in sleeping situation, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the soul, there is no birth nor death. It's not burned by the wind or anything like that, wet by the water. So although the universe was undergoing a dramatic change, the spirit souls weren't affected by this. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it's not burned, not cut, not dried by the wind. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that my transcendental body never deteriorates. So spiritual body is realized in three aspects. Just like Krishna reveals himself in three aspects also, as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Vedanti tat tatvitas tat gagyaman Brahmaniti Paramatni Bhagavaniti Sabjati. The learned transcendentalists understand this, the absolute truth in three aspects, as Brahman, as Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So living entity also, he can realize himself in three aspects. He can realize that he is Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. He is Brahman, that is his very nature. He can realize that spiritual nature or his spiritual identity as Brahman. And the next realization is localized realization, that Paramatma is localized within the heart of everyone. So you can also realize yourself in the heart. Prabhupada said it's localized in the heart, and you can actually realize it, see it, or perceive it as being egg-shaped. It's glowing. So that's a localized in everybody's heart. uh, uh, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Yeah, and then one can realize himself as just like as a personality, with a spiritual body. So like father, like son. So Brahmaneti, Paramatmani, Bhagavaneti, just as Supreme Lord manifests himself in these three aspects. So the living entity also can realize three aspects as the self, as Brahman, and as the localized in the heart, egg-shaped flowing, and as a person in the spiritual realm who can serve the Lord there in the spiritual body. So that's his eternal spiritual form. So Narad Muni it had been revealed to him his eternal spiritual form. And so therefore the annihilations couldn't really affect Narad Muni. As Prabhupada says, he appears and disappears in his own transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, like the conditioned living beings. So in conditioned living beings, there is a distinction between the soul and the body. But for those who have realized the self, there is no distinction between the body and the self. It's all, everything is spirit. So this is how Narad is able to move around, fly from one planet to another with his Veena, chanting Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna, and he's delivering all the living entities in the world with the chanting of the holy names of God. He is establishing devotional service. So that's his business. He's a preacher, and he saved so many great personalities to become immortalized. And we have Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva, who met Narad Muni and he preached to them. So many other personalities. And, so he's a universal preacher. He's our hero, Narad Muni, for your preaching movement. And Narad Muni is our hero. He goes everywhere, your whole universe preaching. We're preaching in a few countries. But Narad Muni, he's a few planets. Again, there was a Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When he was living here in Mayapur, he was taking his walk up the road, Bhaktisiddhanta's Marg, the road outside the road of ISKCON property. There's a Bhajan Kutir is, you've been to Mayapur, I hope. So the Bhajan Kutir is there, Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir, near the road. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was walking on that road with some of his disciples who told us this story. And he stopped walking. And he looked up in the sky and he said, how degraded this age of Kali Yuga is. He said, even on Chandra Loka, the moon planet, even on Chandra Loka, he said, they are becoming so degraded. Kali Yuga is very bad. And his disciple, Damodar Maharaj, he told us, he said, then we understood that what is the meaning of Jagat Guru. We hear Jagat Guru, who is the Jagat Guru of the world. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he knew that what was going on in different planets And many of his disciples, they considered that when he left this planet, he went to Chandraloka. And Prabhupada mentioned one time in a class in Mayapur that he said, my Guru Maharaj, he came into this world with a mission to spread Krishna consciousness. When that mission was completed, fulfilled, he said, then he went to another place to do exactly the same thing, to spread Krishna consciousness. He said, this is called Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also was one of those great personalities. Nitya Siddha. Come down to deliver all the fallen living entities with the process of devotional service, specifically the chanting of Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So Narad is born along with Lord Brahma and other rishis. Who's it? Maitreya Rishi. Yeah, like Marichi, Angira, Aitreya. These are all great sages that appear in the universe. And they're all created from different limbs of Brahma. And there's different types of rishis that are born in this universe. And these rishis are created to establish Dharma throughout the universe. So there's different types of rishis representing different types of dharmic activities. It's like excuse me. It's like Pilamuni. He's establishing the Sankhya philosophy. So he's the rishi in charge of that Sankhya philosophy. Then you get like Jaimini Rishi. Excuse me. Jaimini Rishi, he has a common amongst the philosophy of atheism. But it's there in the Vedas. Be it Gautam, who establishes logic, Vyasadeva, who reveals the Puranas, and Narada also, he reveals the Pancharatra. Therefore, we have family gotras, where different families have different rishis. So this is in the cultured part of the world, especially in India, we have this system here. And each family have a rishi who guides them. And the family will take guidance from those rishis, generation after generation. That will be their guides. So these rishis are there to establish the codes of Dharma for humankind. And So by following these instructions from the rishis, hopefully then they come into somehow or another into contact with the devotional aspect. And then they become perfect. It's like Narad Muni. He was he made a mistake. Brahma come down and chastise him for his mistake. He's not presenting Krishna Bhakti clearly when he was writing the Puranas and everything. His guru said, you've emphasized too much on karma kanda, etc. Already people know how to enjoy. Nobody goes and takes a guru to learn how to have sense gratification. Already there's plenty of that there in the Vedas. So because you haven't presented this so clearly, and they're just sticking to those parts of the Vedas which deal with sense gratification. So you made a mistake. So his guru pointed out the mistake and told him that they should concentrate more on representing Krishna and the path of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti to Krishna. And so by the devotional aspects of the teachings, one can go back to home, back to Godhead, if they don't make the mistake. It's very easy to become bewildered in this material world. Even through the Vedas, you can become bewildered. There's a statement by, I think it's Indra Devi, Purnamasi, or Nandimukhi. Anyway, they're speaking to Purnamasi that in the Vedic literatures and Puranas, we find that it gives one's information, one story. And, there's a battle between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. Krishna wins. He beats Lord Shiva. In another Purana, it describes the same battle, but Lord Shiva wins the battle. So they're asking these questions to Purnamasi. How is it like that? One Purana says this story, and one says the completely opposite. And Purnamasi said, yes, you can be cheated sometimes by the other Puranas. They can cheat you. But the Srimad Bhagavatam, it will never cheat you. Srimad Bhagavatam is, in the very beginning, it kicks out all the cheating processes, Dhamma, and establishes devotional service, establishes Krishna as the personality of Godhead, establishes the living entity's relationship with this world and with Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam will never cheat you. So, therefore, it's easy to become bewildered. So, there's another system, Vedic system, it's called Rini and Kinkara. Rini means debtor. The moment you are born, you're a debtor. You have 6 debts to pay back. And the purpose of life is to serve and pay back these debts. It's like you were indebted to your mother and father. They gave you this physical body. So you're a debtor for them. And they got their bodies from the ancestors. So we have to worship the ancestors to get free from that debt. The government who makes roads and things like that and looks after citizens, you're a debtor to them. the demigods, they're giving the heat and light throughout the universe. We're indebted to them. So the purpose of life, according to this statement in the Veda, is that you pay back these 6 debts, and that is what you are supposed to be doing. Come free from that. So that's okay for people who want to stay in the universe. But if you want to get out of the universe, then you can. You won't follow this process of Rini and Kinkara, the servant and the debtor. Just like it's like a Pitri Puja. Pitri Puja. Pitri is forefathers. You have to worship the forefathers. So you do Pitri Puja, offer pinda, offer foodstuffs to the deceased persons, the fathers, the children. They worship their father. Even in any shop in India, you go out to Navadvipa, and before to start their business, they would have a little bit of incense or something, or some chandans. Would it have a picture of the grandfather or something like that? And they do this little bit of puja for the pictures. Now the father, he's in Pitraloka, and then you do this your puja every day. The sons will worship their father, and then when the father leaves, then the next generation comes, and their sons will worship their father. They may worship their grandfather, but otherwise they may not. But the idea is that the moment you stop worshipping the pictures, the forefathers, at that time you come back down again and you're born in this material world again, in the full material world. But in the you fall down again, and you're born in exactly the same family as you were before. That family, you had the same gotra, you had the same. The families stick together like this. They're going up and down between the material, this earthly planet, and the Pitraloka. And as soon as the sons forget or they stop worshipping their grandfather, then he has to come down to the material world. So he's born again exactly in that same environment, same family, same gotra, same rishi. So like this, he will slowly progress. The defect here is, although you are born a debt and you have to pay it off, if you do pay it off, that means you become a servant, kinkara. You're worshipping the forefathers. You're worshipping the demigods because it's paying off the debt. So what is the problem here? What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? If you worship the Pitras, go to the planet of the Pitras, forefathers. You worship the Devatas, you go to the planets of the Devatas. But if you worship me, you will come to me, Krishna said. So it is what do they say? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't worship, it's not proper, you're not doing your duty, your dharma properly. And if you do worship, again, you come back and take birth in the material world. You haven't solved the real problem of life, of birth and death, and going back home, back to Godhead. So this is the called Vedic nonsense. Of course, the Vedas are not nonsense, but we are nonsense. But there are these different processes that are in this world, and the different rishis, they teach these different ways and traditions, and have this knowledge of their family rishi. Rishi means saintly persons. So in this way, they slowly, if they have the desire, of course, then they can slowly get out of the material entanglement. If they're fortunate enough to meet a devotee, like Narad or others, and like Prabhupada, we are so fortunate now. We know how to act. We know why we should be acting. We know what the material universe is for. We know we're here for. So this is the benefit of meeting a pure devotee. And outside of meeting a devotee is very, very almost impossible to understand what's going on here. This material energy is very difficult to understand. Very difficult. We experience practically daily difficulties we are facing. So only by meeting a devotee, you have the grace of meeting a devotee like Narada. There is a story of Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish was a great king, devotee king. And he met Narad Muni, and he asked him, Ambarish asked Narad Muni, he said, I've got a brother. He's really mean. He hates Vaishnavas. But I don't know if you ever meet him, maybe you could help him. I'd like to see him become a devotee, but it's impossible. He doesn't like devotion. He doesn't like anything. So, but anyway, if you get the chance, you meet him, you can maybe preach to him. So one day, Narad, he was in that vicinity. He said, "Oh, Ambarish's brother lives here nearby, so I'll go and see him." So he went to see Ambarish's brother. Before he got very close to the house, Ambarish was picking up stones and was throwing them at Narad Muni. "Get out of here! What are you doing? Just one of these lazy people, don't like to work, they don't contribute to society." And he's hurling all kinds of abuse and rocks at Narad Muni. Has to retreat. He's running backwards because so many stones are being thrown. So then Narad Muni he shouts out, "What?" He says to his brother that, "What is the what did he say? What is the value of one moment's association with a devotee of Krishna?" So he shouted out to Ambarish, "What is the value of one association of one moment with a devotee?" And then Narad had to run out of fear of his life, throwing stones at him. So anyway, when that brother left his body, he went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, "There's no end to your sins. There's no end to it." And so you're not going to see the light of day, I don't think, for God knows how long. Anyway, you have any last requests? So suddenly he remembered what Narad Muni told him. He said, yes. He said, what is the value of one moment's association with a pure devotee? So Yamaraj was thinking about it. He said, that's a good question. I can't really answer it. Let's go and ask Lord Brahma. So they went to Brahmaloka, and they said, we have a question. That what is the value of one moment's association with a pure devotee? Lord Brahma was thinking, he was scratching his forehead. He said, I cannot estimate that. I don't know what, if you can estimate it. Let's go and ask Vaishnava the Shambhu, Lord Shiva, he is the greatest Vaishnava. So Brahma Narad, they all go up to the, with Ambarish's brother, they go up to Shiva Loka, and Shiva Loka said, no, I cannot answer this. Only Vishnu will be able to answer this question. So come, we'll all go to Vishnu Loka. So Shiva, Brahma, they all went to Vishnu Loka. And they said, we have this question, but it can't be answered. And he said, the question is, what is the value of one moment's association with the pure devotee? And Lord Vishnu was thinking about it. It's that there is no value. Nobody can estimate that value. It's impossible. Nobody can estimate it. So I'm sorry, I can't help you. So okay. Then we'll go back. So Shiva was going back to Shila, Brahma was going to Brahmaloka. And they said, well, what about this Ambarish's brother? What about him? And Vishnu said, well, he's here now. Oh, he might as well stay here. So that was the value of one moment's association with the pure devotee, that he was so simple, yet he got all the way back to Godhead simply by remembering what his Ambarish brother had told him, or Narad Muni had told him. So that's the value of a moment's association. You can take even the most sinful person back home, back to Godhead. So these universal sages, Maitreya, or these Narada and Marichi, really think they're doing a good service, and they are doing a good service for the universe. If you want to stay in the universe. So they're teaching the codes of Dharma. They're teaching the codes of Dharma, and they think this is really, really important work for us. So there's a meditation on Radha and Krishna. It's in the Puja work book, the Rachika Pradeep. It's from Hari Bhakti Vilas. And it's a meditation on Krishna and his different potencies. And it describes how Krishna is there in Vrindavan, beneath the Kalpa Vriksha tree, desire fulfilling trees. And every step is a dance, every word is a song. Transcendental realm, the trees are these are Kalpa Vriksha, they're desire fulfilling trees, whatever you want, you simply ask, you can get. And Krishna is there sitting very relaxed on the couch with his fingers on his flute, playing the fifth note. And with his beautiful black curling hair, his lotus-like eyes, his yellow dhoti ornaments, Sabamani, the description of Krishna. He's very comfortable and relaxed and playing the flute, and the other entities are attracted to Krishna. The description of Krishna there in the center, and there's all the baby calves and everything are there with little blankets on their backs, and they're running around butting each other, and they have foam in their mouth where they've been chewing, and they have grass also in their teeth, between their teeth, which they've been chewing. And the big bulls are there. They're walking very lazily, slowly towards Krishna, and he's playing the flute, and it's like nectar. The flute, the sound of the flute is like nectar. So the big bulls, they put out their their noses, and they flare their nostrils, as if they're drinking that nectar from the flute of Krishna. So, and then these small babies, they have little whispering words, and they can't speak yet. But they're making little whisper sounds, very sweet for the parents. And others, they have little tiger claws around the neck to protect them. They have ankle little bells tied around their waist, and their fat bellies, like little babies. And you get boys. Krishna's boyfriends are there. They're the same age like Krishna. They're all playing on flutes and venas and dancing. And as boys, they're all having a good time there. And the younger gopi girls, they're approaching Krishna, and their eyes are half closed because they're not supposed to be looking at Krishna, but they cannot help. So they close their eyes, half closed eyes, and they're approaching Krishna, but their body's trembling. Different parts of their bodies is trembling. They're trying very hard to sustain the trembling movements of the waist and bodies, but they can't do it. And they have waist bells on and ankle bells. They're jingling and they're trying to control, but they cannot do it. But anyway, they slowly approach Krishna, and therefore they're also the book is a bit at the back. In the front, the different avatars in like Kama, Shiva, Indra. These are they're chanting different mantras and everything for wealth. They're representing artha. We get these kama, karma, artha, moksha. So the demigods are the controllers of the universe, so this is their field, it's their scene in this whole universe, so they maintain and manage it. So artha, need artha for maintaining money. So they're representing artha. And all the different munis here, their purpose is to establish the different codes of Dharma, different types of Dharma in the universe. And behind them there's the yogendras who are in charge of or aspiring after mukti, material happiness, or not material happiness, liberation. And then you get living entities like the Gandharvas, the Chinnaras, the Apsaras, like that, all those demigods who are they're looking for happiness, pure happiness, more karma. They want karma. So dancing and playing music, this is for happiness. So they're spending their lives like that. So what is displaying here is a picture of Krishna along with his different energies. Actually, they use it as a meditation before doing puja. But so Krishna's in the center, and then all the different grades of his devotees, like the gopis, and so you get the Madhurya Rasa is there. You get the elderly gopis are there. That's the parental relationships are there, and And the friend, the Shakiras, the friend, the boys are there playing and everything. They're representing Shakya and Shanta are the different other living entities there. And the demigods. So, yeah, the demigods there, they're all aspiring for wealth and economic development. So it's a picture of the Lord along with these different energies. This is a meditation. All these rishis are, they're needed. They're part of the creation. They're part of the universe. They help to, it is their service, universal service. So it's Krishna and his energies. Karma, artha, karma, moksha, these principles. Doing the Dharma. And then you get economic. By doing Dharma properly, you get artha. From Dharma comes artha, your money, wealth. It's coming from dharma, from religious activities. What you get in this life is because of the dharma you performed in your last life. You get the artha, the wealth. It gets paid in this life. You work for it in last life and you get the results in this life. So it's all very scientifically worked out how the universe is maintaining. So anyway, we have the great sages there like Narad Muni and others. And they're establishing the real purpose of the Vedas. Is to actually go back home, back to Godhead, not to stay in this material world. So if you want happiness in this world, you follow the Vedic system. You won't get more happy than, you won't get any more happiness than you get by following the Vedic system. So if you follow the codes of Dharma and the Vedic, you get more happiness in life than trying to invent some other method of or process of becoming happy. So anyway, Narad's being created again, and now he's going to do his service to Krishna in awaken all the living entities, Krishna consciousness. This is the Lord's great mercy there. The demigods were standing around the Lord. Not the demigods, but the sages, the great sages, and everyone. When Lord Vishnu was sleeping, they want to wake him up. So they stand around the Lord and they chant his glories. And then he wakes up and he's hearing his glories. You're a king such and such. You defeated this king. You defeated that king. You've got big empire. You've got 1,000 elephants. You've got, and then the king wakes up like that and he hears his reciters around him reciting all of his glories as he wakes up feeling very good because he's Kshatriya there. Pride is one of the symptoms of a Kshatriya. So they pick up, yes, very great king. But similarly, when Vishnu is lying on the ocean, his devotees surround him, ask him to wake up, and they're chanting his glories also. They're chanting the glories of Vishnu. Then they say, of all of your glories, your greatest glory is that you have mercy upon all the living entities in the world. So you please wake up now from your sleep and manifest this world and give all of these children of yours an opportunity to become Krishna conscious and go back home, back to Godhead. This is your greatest mercy on the living entity. So ultimately, this is the purpose of the great sages and their teaching is to live for the living entities. Krishna wants us all to come back home, back to Godhead. This is why you're rotting in this material world. Go back to that place where there's no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Only Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. So these, the meaning, there is meaning to life when we understand who we are and what our purpose is in relation to Krishna. Otherwise, nobody really knows what is the meaning of life. Happiness is the real meaning, but they don't know how to get there, what kind of happiness. So even Mahaprabhu comes and he gives that greatest happiness. Raja Bhakti, which is never given before. Krishna is so kind that he even gives a very rare thing even to the fallen living entities of Kali Yuga. So here is a special time since the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we get that opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness and go back home, back to God. Otherwise, we would never know if it wasn't for the great sages and devotees like Prabhupada to come and bless us all with the correct teachings and the correct way to serve Krishna for his pleasure. So Narad Muni ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So we have some devotees who would like to ask you a question, Prabhu.
Okay.
Kusha Prabhu, please submit yourself.
Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a nice class. My question is on the verse of where Prabhupada is talking about the rishis and the sages. So my question is, we always read in the Bhagavatam about the sages and the rishis. Why is it that the sages are always after teaching people how to become devotees, while most of them really are not into pure devotional service?
No, they. Why there are so many paths and different aspects? It's because the living entities have many different paths and ways. Otherwise, Krishna is just saying, think of me, become my devotee, offer everything to me, sarvadhanam parityaja saranam braja. Why didn't Krishna just write, Bhagavad Gita as it is with 2 slokas, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto and Sarvadhanam Parityaja? And why bother if that's what Krishna wants? And why Krishna is explaining all these different other processes of dhyan, meditation, sense control, realization of paramount, all these different processes he's teaching. It's because the living entities, they're attached to doing things their own way. So therefore, Krishna has created these different systems for those people who want to practice. They're not ready to become Krishna conscious. They don't want to become Krishna conscious. So they want to do it their own way. So therefore, we have many systems. It's not that Krishna I didn't want to create it or didn't want to create, but it's that he wanted to the persons who think that they got a better way. That creation, he's created these processes for those persons. So Nityananda Prabhu explains in the Navadip Mahatma, he's explained to Jiva Goswami how Lord Chaitanya came with the the greatest message of love of God, Braja Bhakti, greatest love of Godhead. And Nityananda Prabhu said they danced and they chanted and they just gave freely to anyone and everyone. Some fortunate persons, they accepted the process. And others, they could not accept it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he said, let's examine why the unfortunate persons couldn't accept it. The fortunate ones could accept it. If they couldn't, they were unfortunate. They had the opportunity. But let's examine why they're unfortunate. And he said that they're unfortunate because they were overly proud of their own intelligence. They're thinking, I'm doing everything my way. My way is the best way. And so they couldn't accept what Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu were giving freely. And so they stuck to some other process. So Krishna fulfills their desires also. They have want to do it different ways. So Krishna has presented all these different philosophies and everything in Bhagavad Gita. It's for the living entities who want to follow the path whatever path they've chosen or they've manufactured. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we have His Grace Sade Prabhu. He wants to ask you a question also, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Well, again, thank you for blessing our platform. My question is in regards to Srila Prabhupada saying that his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, after completing his service on this earth, went to a different planet to continue the same service. We are struggling everything possible we can to go back home. We don't want to be in this crazy world anymore. And Shukadev Goswami actually was so much afraid of this world, he didn't want to come out of his mother's womb. Mother Sita was so tired of what she had to go through with Ram, Lakshman in the forest. And so she told Ram, please, my Lord, never this again. So my question is, why would Krishna send same souls back into this material world and continue to suffer? I mean, like we all know, of course, you know better than all of us how Srila Prabhupada suffered. And if Krishna has to send Srila Prabhupada to another material world for him to suffer like that, I don't think that is kind of Krishna. He could send somebody else.
When Prabhupada was he was in America, and then he got sick after some time, some kind of sickness, and he went back to America, but he was praying, I think, to Rukmini Dvokadish, and he was praying that why I'm going back now to India, and but I have because of my health years to go back. He said that now Krishna consciousness is just taking off in America. Everybody's getting excited, and there's thousands of people coming, and we're having these big Rath Yatras, and it's really taking off now. So if I go back, it would be very difficult. It may be, but now it's really good. And then he said, Krishna said to me that, okay, if you want to stay in that horrible place, if you want to stay there, you can stay there. So, he said, Krishna gave him, he said, you can stay there. He asked him to say, yeah, he said, Krishna asked me to come back. And he said, don't worry, I will build you a very nice temple there. Prabhupada said they got temples in America. He said, I'll build you a very nice temple you can stay in India. And yeah, anyway, Prabhupada said, okay, if you want to stay in that, that rotten place. So it's more of the devotees' desires actually to come back out of compassion. They want to come back to preach Krishna consciousness. It's more that than Krishna is asking of sending them back here. At the end of Prabhupada's pastimes, Krishna said, Prabhupada said, Krishna has given me the choice. I can stay or I can go. So they're not actually being sent by Krishna, but the devotees voluntarily come forward. It is the very advanced devotees, we see their qualities. Well, like Vasudeva Tata, he wanted to deliver the whole universe and he should come and take all the karmas of everyone. So Mahaprabhu liked that attitude. So the devotees have that selfless attitude. The Vaishnava, he doesn't live for himself, he lives for others. So that's very, very exalted consciousnesses, but they are showing that they do. They actually have adopted that attitude of compassion for all living entities. That they're willing to come back again and again. That's okay. If you have a choice, some people say, well, some people ask Prabhupada that we want to come back here and serve you birth after birth. And Prabhupada said, oh, then that means I'll have to come back also. If you want to come back and serve, it means I'll have to come back also. Yeah, it's more the kindness of his that he come when Prabhupada was in Bombay towards the end. He was very sick that time, and one personality from the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja Sampradaya, he came to see Prabhupada and he said, you know why you're suffering? He said, because you're accepting too many unqualified disciples, so you have to, that's why you're suffering for this. And Prabhupada said to him, I came here to suffer. So anyway, they would also ask Prabhupada, we want to come back and serve you birth after birth, Prabhupada. If you have a choice, if you have the ability that if you can make a choice, you want to stay and want to go, that's okay. But Otherwise, Prabhupada's emphasis was go back home, back to Godhead. Don't stay in this material world, it's a risky place. Develop your love for Krishna, go back home. That was Prabhupada's. He came to deliver the fallen souls, not the liberated souls also. Yeah, but this is the compassion of a Vaishnava. You're willing to come back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. We really appreciate your time and your association. We hope to see you again on our platform. I don't know, maybe Srivas Prabhu have something to say.
Shivash? Shivash?
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Nice to see you again. You just got anointed. Shivash was just anointed. In front of Srila Prabhupada in the temple to make disciples.
Have your darshan.
He's taken such
from
responsibility.
Africa.
You have to take these living entities back to Godhead, Shivash. You're accepting
Thank
this
you very much.
responsibility as becoming Guru.
Yes.
Thank you for giving your support. Actually, Prabhu facilitated the vows in Mayapur when I was in Mayapur. Jananivas Prabhu facilitated the vows of initiating. We're happy to have him on our platform. Actually, many devotees do not know him. He is a head pujari in Mayapur. He has been serving Sri Sri Radha Madhava and the Astasaki for over 40 years. And the Sringadev Bhagavan, serving them over 40 years. He has been, such intimate service with the deities in our head office. So Prabhupada asked him and his brother, he has a twin brother, Pankajagri Prabhu. They are doing such wonderful service in Mayapur, and they're actually maintaining the whole organization. Prabhupada says, so long as Radharani is dancing, this movement goes on. As soon as Radharani stops dancing, the whole movement falls apart. And Jananivas Prabhu and his brother, they are making Radharani dance every day by their beautiful service, beautiful dresses, and beautiful things. So we are very grateful, and we are so fortunate to have darshan of Jananivas Prabhu. We pray that he will come back again and give us his holy darshan. Thank you, Prabhu. We are grateful for your presence.
That's awesome. Thank you for your sweet words.
Hare Krishna.
Gauranga, Tinanda.
I want all devotees to please unmute themselves. Let us appreciate Prabhu by loudly chanting one Hare Krishna mantra. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna